This is Unmuted with my girls, Z and Ross the Boss. Talk about it, ladies.
Hello, 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 family. It's your friendly neighborhood podcasters. Your girl Ross the Boss, and
Z. I like that. I like what you did there.
you like what I did there. I wanted to redirect it back for anyone who caught a snippet of my announcement about my eye situation. I just wanted to tie it back in. So hopefully y'all see some level of improvement. Z, are my eyes open?
They do look
Do I
open
look
right
like I'm
now.
resting?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for the feedback. Um so for all of our friends and family, welcome, welcome, welcome to Unmuted with your girl Z and Ross the Boss. So we are here to get into the debauchery, to get into the goodness, to spread a little light and love in this world. So we're so thankful that you came on this journey with us as we talk about some solid topics today.
Yes.
So as we do with every podcast, we open it up with just a check in on my friend. So, Miss Z, how you doing today? How's
Um
your heart, friend?
my heart today I'm feeling really good. I can't complain. It was a week. A week was had, but going into this weekend feeling very refreshed. I mean, I'm over here smiling, but it's only cuz my friend over here her video about the clarification of what happened with her eye. Guys, she was not sleeping. That is
That's
facts.
not sleeping.
But I just loved, friend, that you got ahead of it. I mean, if you're following us on social media, it was no surprise when you came on that video on the episode that we dropped that her eyes were gonna look a little close. So for those of you that follow us on social media, you already knew. And if you don't, maybe you should follow us on social media because we be dropping some random videos in there.
Absolutely. And they're fun. But it was necessary to do that disclaimer because I don't ever want y'all to think I'm shortchanging you, baby, because that's not where she is or who she is. But for those who didn't catch that clip, I had a unfortunate smelting accident. That's not what happened. I poked myself in the eye while on a different call and really jacked my eye up, my left eye. So I have torn my cornea in my left eye. So it made it so that the last episode that we shot with Nestor, that it looked like I was resting as Nestor was speaking. And baby, let me just tell you, she was not because she was fully engaged. But I was so centered and focused that it looked like I was meditating seriously. She wasn't. She wasn't. Not at all. But it was just important to get in front of it before, the feedback came in because I have some very lethal friends who watch this. So I just wanted them to know beforehand, like, girl, what's going on with your eyes? First of all, I have sleepy eyes because she's seductive. You're welcome. But
Period.
period, right? Um, and so then, you poke yourself in the eye, and then the other eye is doing all the work, to keep you up and sustainable. So it just made them look a little more sleepy than they normally do. So that is going to be a state of being for a little while. So, keep me lifted in prayer. And let's touch and agree that that has been received and that this eye will get back to her normal level of sexy, um
Mm, mm.
and that's it and that's all. So that's it and that's all. So thank you, Z, for giving me a couple moments just to uh
Right.
address the eye situation, I Mageddon, if you will. So thank you so much for that, friend.
Ooh. So I
Like
think
I
I like that. I like Armageddon. I think that is a thing. Hashtag Armageddon. But also, I think if we learned anything about this story is don't touch your eye when you're in a bad meeting. Cause look, my friend had to have been like riled up or something to poke her eye and mess up her cornea. So all I'm saying,
wasn't. I
no,
wasn't.
that wasn't the
And the
case.
thing is,
Oh, okay,
no,
okay.
absolutely not. And the thing that's even worse is it's very rare that my glasses are off my face. So the
Ooh,
question was
that part.
probably, what were you doing?
Mm.
right? To poke your
Mm.
eye. And I think I was putting in eye drops because again, as I called out in the social media post, pollen is real. So I think I was maybe putting some eye drops in and then I just went to go do something and then I just sort of, try to jettison my eye out of my face. That's what
So
happened. That's what I'm sticking to. Fine.
it's safe to say, Pollen 1, Ross the Boss 0. Safe to say.
Correct. 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 All of that tree sex got me because that's all pollen is a bunch of tree sex. You're welcome.
Anyway,
You're welcome.
we're not here to talk about Armageddon today. I mean, we were a little bit, but
Okay.
not for the full episode. But thank you,
Okay.
friend, for
Okay.
sharing and being vulnerable with us about what happened
Thank
to
you.
you.
Thank you. It was
So,
an assault. hmm
okay, that was a
True.
good one too.
It happened.
Okay, okay,
I got jumped.
you've gotten really creative lately, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's a
Yeah.
gift. I don't own it.
So, while my friend gets it together right now with her Armageddon situation, if y'all see anything,
Mm-hmm.
again, remember she's healing. She's in healing, so we need all the healing prayers.
hmm And I just want to point out that if you see it, probably I didn't, because again, it's still an opportunity area. Just gonna say that.
Oh,
You saw it, I did not.
they're gonna be like, "Did you see that? What did I see?"
Mm-mm,
Mm.
mm-mm, And I will take that as a personal attack. So just know that.
So, moving on to more serious topics for the month of
Yeah,
May.
absolutely.
We definitely, you know us. We always want to make sure that our family, friends, anybody listening to us knows that you are 100% not alone. I know that me and Raza Boss are never ones to be shy to talk about our mental health journey per se. We didn't, maybe Rasa Boss earlier on than me got on that journey, but but I got there as well. And then so the reason that we're talking about it is because May is Mental Health Awareness Month. It shouldn't just be a month. I mean, that should be a thing that we are constantly checking. I always say we make sure that we get our checkups, right? Physical checkups. We also have to check our mental health because everybody's going through something. I think that for somebody to say, "Oh, I'm not going through anything," I don't know that that's true, but some of us do need the extra TLC. So we wanted to make sure that we made a shout out, and because we've talked about it vastly, we are still going through the journey. We're not professionals. Razabaz goes through her own things. I go through my own things. I'm also a mom. I have a partner, and then so there's a lot of different things, lot of different aspects of my life that I need to be mentally prepared for to support my family, and vice versa. So then we just want to say, and I know you hear it all the time, and we don't want to be generic, but truly, if you're feeling hopeless or you're feeling like you need help, ask for help. There's a lot of different avenues. Sometimes it's as easy as Googling what are the options around you, right? If you don't have a support system, or if you do, asking for help. I think sometimes we're embarrassed to say, I'm not doing too good because we see that maybe our family and friends are thriving, but little do we know what happens behind closed doors, right? So it's okay to ask for help. It's okay. I mean, we've been there. You might think we got to figure out. No, we sometimes have to still check up on each other, see how we're doing, and it's okay. So it's okay to not be okay, I think, is my message. But also, let's be kind, because a lot of the things that are being said, or even when you're with your family, you never know the comments you're gonna make are gonna affect the person that's going through it. So I think there's a lot of different
Absolutely.
things that we can do. So friend, do you have anything you want to add, or your point of view?
I think the one thing that as I've gone through this journey is knowing that it's okay not to be okay. Um, and being okay to say that. There Hopefully, you have people in your life that you know and trust, and just sort of putting that in the air. Um, and activating those relationships and giving people an opportunity to stand in the gaps for you. And that is 100% okay, because that is how we get through things. We get through them together. The other thing that sort of has carried me is, hey, it's a hard moment, not a hard life.
Mm.
And I think that sometimes it can feel very, very daunting, and you can't see, you know, on the other end of it or the other side of it. But just understanding that this is a moment in time, even if that moment lasts for a few moments, it is understanding that there is life and there is existence on the other end of it. So, and understand that, like, you are light, you are love, you are here for a reason, and the world is better because you're in it. So just
Mhm.
knowing that, or hearing that, even if you don't know it right now, just hearing that, and hopefully that reaches that dark part of your head or your heart that needs to feel that. So we strongly want to encourage anyone who is listening to us that if there's any way that we can help, whether it is, dropping a message in the chat, or you know privately DMing us, we always make ourselves available. We have never met strangers ever. So 100% we make ourselves fully available. So during this month and all the months moving forward, please know that there are folks who are willing to help and to listen. Again, we are not professionals. We are just two people who care. But the one thing that we can do is help you to find resources to get you the assistance that you need. If we are at all able to, we definitely want to do that.
So again, don't forget you're not alone. And so with that, we did want to go ahead and get started with today's episode. We know there's a lot of things happening in May. I mean, it was just Mother's Day, what felt like yesterday, but now it's been a few days ago. And then, but there's also some other big things happening in the month of May. So I think my friend briefly touched on it, what she was talking about, things that she wanted to leave behind, or things that should be acceptable in May. She was talking about prom season, graduations.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. It has been beautiful, and I don't know, and for the folks who listen along, and who are active in our channels, 100%. If you have a baby, or even you, somebody in your family who has graduated in 2026, drop a photo when you see this episode drop. And even in promotion for this episode, we're going to ask that. So if you have a loved one that you want to celebrate, because graduating is a huge achievement, a huge achievement. We want to recognize them. So drop that in the chat, and so that we
Mhm.
can shout them out on the next episode. Because, baby, listen, so never would have made it. Listen, for a lot of Black graduations, especially for HBCUs, that is, and Z, I don't know if you've seen some of those videos on TikTok where the
Did.
colleges have the HBCUs start that song off, because again, you let your family and friends know, I wouldn't have made it without you. So,
Listen.
we
Yes.
period. Period. We want to celebrate them, and graduating is a major accomplishment, not just for that individual, but for their family.
Mhm.
That is something huge to be celebrated. I think that there's a lot of dark moments and a lot of things that get celebrated that don't feed into community at all, right? But we definitely want to uplift those folks who are doing the hard work and showing up and truly impacting their families, whether you are, the first graduate in your family, or you're the 19th graduate in your family. The fact that you committed to something is a huge deal. And you got to the finish line, the victory lap. 100% we want to give you your flowers and shout you out. So congratulations to anybody who is listening, and anybody who helped somebody on their journey towards graduation. We want to talk about that today.
Yes. So, as my friend mentioned, if you don't want to drop it in our comment section, you can put it in your story and tag us, tag our socials, and then that way we can shout you out as well. And then so at the end of the episode, you'll see our socials and all of that jazz. And we just want to celebrate with you. We like a good celebration, and
Mhm.
plus, you
Hello.
did it. You did it. Like, it's such a
Mhm.
huge accomplishment. It's not easy. It's not. I remember it like it was just yesterday. And I went through it with my daughter. And I tell you, I think I might have been just a little bit more proud when I saw my daughter walk the stage. I was very proud of myself. I was so
Mhm.
happy that I did it. But when I saw my daughter do it, I was like, it just hit a little bit different. So if you see your parents doing too much, it's because we're just that damn proud. So we're not embarrassing you. Just want to point it out. I want to talk on behalf of the parents. It's not that we want to embarrass you. Is that just we're filled with so much joy.
Yeah, yeah. I share that sentiment too, Z, but I will dial it back a little bit though,
Mm.
because there are some parents who try to embarrass. So I'm going to tell
Oh.
you, we are celebrating, high school graduates and college graduates now, but I think it goes back to middle school. We don't call it graduation, but the promotion ceremonies. I know
Mm-hmm.
in my fifth grade, my eighth grade one, my mama came up on stage
Oh. Okay.
and told me to
That's.
walk back, but she didn't have the Polaroid camera ready to take a picture of me. So she said, walk back so I can get it. And I'm like, Mama, the next person she said, walk back. Fifth grade and eighth grade promotion. And
Boy.
I'm like, okay. On my eighth grade, she had my baby brother walk on stage and give me a flower. So I had to walk back so that he could walk on stage and give me a flower so that she could take a picture with the Polaroid camera. Ma'am, what in this ain't my wedding? What are you doing?
So maybe that's one of the reasons why nowadays they make us go fast. They
No.
let you know, no stopping. So maybe
Mm-mm.
you might have started it, friend.
Yeah, I listen. I didn't start nothing. You will put that on Clotilde where that goes. That has nothing to do with me, darling. Nothing, nothing to do with me. I did not like the spotlight when I was a young person. So the fact that she
Yeah.
was like, run it back where? Chloe,
I'm
where
trying
we
to
going?
go. I'm
Back.
trying to go.
I'm trying to get off of this. You got me in this very floral girly outfit. I got on stockings. Like, what are we doing, doll baby? I want to get off stage right now.
I
I got
can't
on my
picture
little
that.
my little pedal pushers. I got pictures. I will drop mine too. Look, I got the little pedal pushers on from Payless. Mama, I'm trying to get off stage. Mama, move, please, girlfriend. Get out of my way. But again, it's beautiful to be able to have those memories because, like you
Hmm.
said, it was just one of those moments where she was equally proud. So
Yeah.
for the graduates, let the folks have their moment.
Yeah.
And I think too, Z, like one of the things I want to call out, and I know we're going to get a little deeper into graduation and celebrating folks, but I want to holler at the schools real quick. Okay. I get it that you 100% want to make sure that every student's name is read. And if your schools are anything like ours here, especially for Black folks, there's going to be 47 Joneses.
Mm.
There's going to be about 27 Johnsons. Okay. And, we got to get through everybody. We totally get it.
Hmm.
But some of these babies, this might be the only time that they get to walk across the stage, or they are the first in their family. Let them people have a moment.
You're right.
Like I think freaking ridiculous to tell these babies that, oh, you just gotta walk up here, shake my hand, and take your diploma. I remember when I graduated, I asked my grandma, I said, Grandma, when I walk across the stage, what you want me to do? She said, Baby, I want you to dance. And I said, Yes, ma'am. And there was a joyful noise made with my body and my feet as I got my diploma. Because what you gonna do? You gonna keep it? And do what with it? Because you're gonna give it. You might not give it to me on stage. You are, but you don't give it on stage anyway. You get
Yeah,
it
don't give
after
it.
the fact.
Yeah.
You just get
Yeah.
the folder thing. So I was like, what are we talking about? That doesn't even make sense. You're gonna give it to me after the fact anyway. So what I'm gonna do is crip walk across the stage like I did. And my grandma went up for it. And my grandma was 100% the deaconess at the church. But I did exactly what my grandma told me to do. And I turned up when I got my diploma. So let them
Mm.
babies have a moment, as long as it's not anything offensive. I
Yeah.
totally get it. And I get it. You have some families who are a little bit more demure. I don't know, Z, if in your area, well, you're in Texas, girl. So
No, but
cowbell,
okay.
y'all are born
No,
with cowbells
no,
out there.
no. First of all, that's a it's a misconception because there's no cowbells happening here. But I will say that a lot of I can speak on my family. We rolled deep and we were loud. I'll tell you that for sure. Now my daughters are shy; they're not gonna
Mhm.
dance or anything. But I was gonna tell you. I saw this video. And it was a graduation, and this girl did not shake the hand. Which I agree. If you make me choose whether to shake your hand or do my dance, I'm gonna do my dance versus shaking your hand. So I totally agree with her. But
Oh,
she
period.
she danced and then out of nowhere she jumped up and did the splits. Boy, I was like,
And she
yes,
shouldn't.
girl. I was like, yes,
Go off,
girl. I
sis.
wish I
Go
would have
off.
done that. I wish I would have done that. So hmm,
Go off.
I can't do it. But
Mhm.
I'm just saying, like, I wish I could have done that. But to your point, let them celebrate. Like you said, we don't know what their plan is. We don't know that they'll get to celebrate another
Mhm.
graduation. And it is a big deal. It is a big
Absolutely.
deal. So
Yeah, let them babies have their moment. Yeah. So the administrators and stuff that are out there, again, let
if
them
you're
babies have their
listening,
moment, and let their families have that moment to celebrate them. And I totally get it. So I think, just to carve out some time because there's a lot of stuff in the graduation that you could cut that don't nobody want to hear anyway.
that is true.
The stuff
You're
that you
right.
tell, yeah, like you try spend the time to let them babies celebrate if they want to walk across the stage. Cut the other stuff. I don't need to be introduced to the school board. I don't care. We don't care. This ain't their moment. You know when their moment is? School board meeting.
That part.
Thank you. We appreciate all you did for us this year. But what I do not need to do is hear from the president of the school board. Don't need to. Don't need to. Don't need to. What I do need to hear is my baby Josephine. I wanted to hear her whole name pronounced correctly, and I want her to be given at least 27 seconds to do her dance if she wants to.
Literally.
Do what you want with that. Period. Point and the blank. So cut the other stuff and let them babies do what they got to do.
That's very true.
Ain't nobody
I
paying
agree.
attention anyway.
I'll be
You
honest.
know
I
what we
didn't pay
doing while them other
attention.
people talking? Woo.
I was looking at my phone waiting for my baby to come out. Or
Absolutely.
I was scoping to see if I could see her to like get off guard pictures of her too.
Get a picture.
That's all
Because
I
what
was
are we doing now? Texting them, hey, look back at the family. We up here in the corner on the left.
doing. Mm-hmm.
Ain't nobody listening. We trying to get the pictures. You know what I'm saying?
Very
So
true.
it's like, I also think, like, for real, let's keep it a buck. Okay? Keep it a buck. If it is not a celebrity who is on stage giving the graduation speech, we not listening.
That's true. That's true.
Do we want to hear from the originator of this maple syrup company that y'all thought would be a great speaker for this graduation? We don't care what they're talking about.
Mm-mm.
We hollering over it anyway. We streaming until that time comes when you about to call the names. We came here to get the names. We don't care who the speaker is. Now I do want to shout out the schools that get like legit speakers who are people who these young people can connect with, but sometimes it's like this is a high school graduation and you got somebody who is 97 years old who did something in 1930 something, and you want these babies to care. They don't, and we don't. Keep it a buck. It's unmuted. We're gonna keep it real over here. We're gonna keep it a buck.
That's true. That's true. I do
Some
agree
y'all
on
mean
that.
it, and listen, you know who cares more? The people in your demographic. But for these babies, if it's not something that they can resonate with, you wasting everybody's time. Give them their 27 seconds to do their dance. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's all.
Mic
Hmm.
drop.
That's enough. That's it. My job.
So,
Period. I said it. Fight me. So,
so, so,
but
friend.
yeah.
Yeah, no, that's very true. That's very true. I will say I've been to plenty of graduations, and yeah, no, I can't say that I remember any of the speeches. I remember when the names were called out, especially my babies or the person in my family or friends that I know. And also, I'll remember the person that did their dance because I'll be like, yeah, you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. Or even not even that. The people whose family go up for them,
Oh, yeah, that
especially
too.
when a daddy starts hollering. When a daddy starts hollering, especially for their daughter,
Mm-hmm.
I remember that. And then I just sort of highlight that name. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Like yeah, Tasha's daddy was proud. Did you hear him? He had that whole section rocking by himself. Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the things that you
That's
remember.
true.
And it's like give those baby that moment. They worked hard to get there. Like graduating
That's
ain't
true.
easy. you know?
It really ain't.
So it's not. It's really not. So I know that I want to shout out a special person in my life. So I had the pleasure, I got my Ferrum College sweatshirt on today, and I had a very special human in my life, a an intern with my work with the NAACP, but she was a mentee who I can now call a friend. And she graduated last weekend from Ferrum, and I'm so proud of her. I am so very proud of her. Her light is so big, and the thing is, she is just like a sponge, well, ready and willing to go into this world to do some really great things, and be molded into this amazing woman that she is going to be. So, Lily, I know you're listening. So, I know that I told you in person, but I also want to say it, on the podcast. I'm extremely proud of you, and congratulations. I'm so excited to see where this life and this journey takes you. You're going to do some amazing things. So, congratulations. You represent them Panthers proud, girl. Uh, 100% following the motto of not self but others. Always keep that in your heart, and you'll never go wrong. You'll never go wrong. So, you're going to do some amazing things, and understanding that I'm only a phone call away. So, just holler at your girl.
Congratulations. That's so amazing. I bet you feel like
Mhm.
so proud.
I did. So, the other thing is like, graduation tickets and, inclement weather when you have an outdoor situation. So she
Mm.
had her boots on the ground with, the folks that were there to be able to celebrate her beautiful family. But then to be able to watch it, online from my bed in the comfort of my home.
Ooh.
And so I told her, I said, when you walk across, you got to do something because I'm watching, and I'm gonna snap some pictures, when you walk across. And she was like, okay. Did she do any of what I told her? No.
No, right?
She was boot scooting. Her goal was to get across the stage. And she was like, listen, it was cold. It was cold. And I said, you got to, you got to, beauty is pain. You needed to
Yeah.
warm it up real quick and give me a little shimmy or something when you got across. And she was like, nope, beeline. But her family did an amazing job of capturing a beautiful moment, um, amongst several beautiful moments that she's going to have in the future. So um, that was just one stop of many that you're going to have in the future. So congratulations to you.
Yes, I agree. And again, congratulations to all the graduates, the parents. We're part of that journey too, because of I know we also go through it, right? It's not a linear path. It's always curvy a lot of the times. And some of the times you're like,
Mhm.
are they going to make it? And then others you're like, yes, they did. So, I mean, it's just a
Mhm.
big deal overall. And then so that's kind of what we also want to talk about. We did want to talk about the graduation itself, but something that's also very important that doesn't get talked about enough is what now? What's next? Right? Okay, you get your diploma. Some people already have it figured out because that's why you see them with the ribbons and with the ropes and all the things. They already have it figured out, but some don't. And that's okay. We want to talk about that today about how it's valid and it's okay if you don't have it figured out right off the gate. So, I know, for example, my path was a little bit weird, different than my daughter's path. So I graduated a year early. I was a teen mom, and I didn't walk the stage. I didn't. And then so I remember feeling the next year I went to my class graduation that I was supposed to walk in, but I had graduated early. And then so I did have a feeling of, dang, I wish I would have done that. And then so I did go back to school for my associates and then my bachelor's. And I walked both times. When I had my associates, my daughter Alexis was there with my mom, my family. Super proud moment. My mom still has my associate's degree hung up and my diploma in her wall. And then when my bachelor's came in, I had both of my daughters. And so it was very, very special. But then when my daughter's time came, she did the whole thing: prom, senior walk, all the things, she did it. And so I, as a parent, I felt like what I didn't get to experience, I experienced it with her in that moment. So that's why I say, when you're going, sometimes you're like, oh, this is corny. Like, it's like sometimes your parents are living through you because maybe for the circumstances, they didn't get to experience it, or you're their child, maybe you're doing it differently and they're so much more proud of the way you did it. And then, so again, to have that grace and let them take all the pictures they want, because it's a special time. Now I understand why my mom was so hanging up the diplomas and all that. I was like, why is she doing that? And now I get it. Now I get it. Like, yes, I want to hang up everything.
Hmm. I think there's two moments in particular that meant a lot. Um, when I graduated from undergrad, again, Ferrum College represent always. Hey, um, one of the things that I was able to do was when they gave you the packet of, like, here's your robe, and you could order announcements and all those other things. One of the options that they had was a diploma that you could give to your parent.
Oh.
So back when I graduated many, many moons ago, you had the well, we graduated on Mother's Day weekend. So I was like, what better gift to give my mother on Mother's Day, but like her own diploma, because she took the military route instead of going to college. So, I wanted for Mother's Day to give her something to say, like, I recognize that I did not get here by myself. My mom 100% didn't give me an option. She told me the military was not an option for me because my mouth was going to get me in trouble and I was going to get a dishonorable discharge. Hurtful, but possible. Yeah, I got it,
I mean,
mama.
friend,
Okay, I
I
trust you. You've been
mean.
there. I can see it. I can see it. So she was like, don't go to the military because they're going to kick you out. And I was like, hurtful, but okay. And then she was like, working, cute, but no. College is the option that you are going to go with. And so just to be able to see the sacrifices that she made to make sure that I could. um, as a single parent, also with two other children in the household. And I went to a private Methodist school. Again, private Methodist school. And the cost of college at that time was far less than what it is now, but it was still high for what it was at the time. But the sacrifices that she made, and even the non-negotiable moments. So Z, I think I had shared with you, I went into college with credits from high school, so I went in as like a second semester freshman, and I remember that first year that my grades came back, and I had like some C's on there, and my mom called me and she was like, "So you don't want to be there?" Is what I'm hearing,
Oof.
ma'am. And she said, "So you don't want to be there because that's not what I sent you up here to do. Play with me if you want to." And you will come right on home. And I was like, girl, relax. It's some C's. And she said, play with me if you want to, and you will come right on home. So one of the things that is hilarious is I put myself on academic probation. So I worked in the academic resource center. So I went to my boss and I said, "Hey, I need you to put me on probation." And she was like, "That is not how probation works at all." And I was like, heard. But my mama said, my mama said that if I come back in her house with these grades, that I won't be back. So the only way that I know to hold myself accountable is that I have to have something in place to like buffer me. So I need you to put me on academic probation. And she was like, no. And I was like, okay. So Z, this. I don't really take no. People don't really tell me no a lot. But I don't really take no as an answer. So I just followed the same things that they did for people who were on academic probation. So they had to like have hours in the library. So I would sign into that notebook and fill out the form. And like I turned in like I did the entire work syllabus and the work and the syllabus and turned it into my professors. They was like, we are not reading this. And I was like, you better turn it in when it's due. And I was like, no, 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 I did it all because my mama said I'm gonna come home if y'all don't understand, right? But that healthy fear and that motivation, it was more of what it was, is that I did not want to disappoint her.
Mm.
right? And I knew that she was serious of like, Shamel, I'm not playing with you. So in turn, that became my motivation of like, my mama, wants me to be my best. So in turn, I have to want to be my best. So when I
Mhm.
got my diploma, it only felt right that she have one too.
Mm.
So it says, like on the diploma, it says like, I wouldn't have gotten here by myself. It looks very similar to my college diploma. And at the end I signed it, as a thank you. So when I presented it to her, and she took it back home for Mother's Day, she put it in the living room, for a display, for her diploma that she earned, right? So when she passed, I still have it, downstairs, with her cremains and my altar to her, in my home. Her diploma still sits there because again, I would not be here had it not been for her, pushing me and telling me that I
Mhm.
could. So um, that graduation meant a lot because again, it wasn't just about me, but it was, all of those people who told her that I would never be me and that I would never reach that milestone because, she was a single mother. That was a smack in the face to all of them. Like, and what? What else can I do? Like hold her beer and mine, right?
Mhm.
So that was a big one. And then the other one was my mom had passed before my baby brother, was able to walk the stage. So being able to see him graduate was a big deal for me because it felt, very similar, like you were saying, watching Alexis walk. It felt like, even though my mom couldn't be there, I felt her there. And then all of the people that showed up for him to be there to watch him graduate, knowing that our mom couldn't be there. He had that big family that was like, we're going to be there. We want to support him. We want to let him know that he is loved, even though his mom's, not there. And that was a huge moment to see him get his diploma. Also, he hates that I tell this story, but this is a true thing. I called the school every week
Oh.
for 2 months to make sure he was going to graduate.
Oh.
To the point they was like, Miss Ross, is this something that we don't know? He is graduating, and I was like, are we sure?
Can you double check?
Because I want to make sure that we're sure. Yeah, could you put it in writing? Could you send me something? And they would be like, ma'am, we're looking. His name is on. He is graduating, and then he was like, sis, like, what are you doing? Like, I'm graduating. I was like,
Just checking.
I don't
Just
know.
checking.
Yeah, I'm just checking because, like, I have seen them, in graduations pull people out of line. Like, nah, we'll see
Oh,
you at summer school.
really?
That better not be. Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. So I'm like, no, sir. So I called every day. And still, up until the point I was sitting on the edge of the chair, like, oh, please don't pull him out of line. Please, baby, don't pull him out of line. But he did his big one and he got his diploma. So was exceptionally proud to be there in my mom's stead,
Mhm.
to be able to see her baby boy graduate. So
It's amazing. Yeah, it has to be equally. I think
yeah.
when I saw my little brother graduate, it was like it's equally, and I feel like when my nieces do it, I'm gonna be so proud too. And yeah, and now I'm getting ready to my daughter Desiree is transitioning to high school, and then so I think you heard me, friend. I was like, okay, Desiree, I just got
Hmm.
the email. You're on track, but you have to make sure that before the 18th there's no mess ups. And she's like, Mom, I got this. Like I got this. And I'm like, okay. I was like you. I was like, just checking, girl, because we gotta make it to, to the next step. So
Hmm.
so yeah, very similar
Hmm.
to you. That's how I've been to with Desiree. And then so because you like you said, every milestone counts. So I'm gonna embarrass her in a few weeks here when she does get that promotion ceremony. And it's okay. It's okay.
Hmm.
I'm not gonna get on the
And I think,
stage,
to
but
tie it back to get up there. Get up there. Jump up there with her. Have her face on the front of a T-shirt. Have
girl,
one of those big blow up head things. All of them.
girl,
I'll buy
you
the banner.
you already know that she's gonna side eye me. She ain't cancer.
So she gonna side eye you anyway. So go ahead and just give her a reason. Give her a reason. She gonna thank you later, right? But to tie back to what you were saying earlier, Z, For those folks, like, but what after graduation, right?
Mhm.
So the pomp and circumstance of everything, and like you work up to this moment that's just like, okay, graduation. It sort of feels like a wedding, right? So
Mhm.
people are like, when it comes to marriage and stuff, it's like, okay, the wedding, but then like what after the wedding? You
Mm.
just go back to regular life, right? Of just
Mhm.
like, what is the next thing that we're working towards, right?
Mhm.
And it's cool if you have that worked out, but like what happens if you don't? If you don't know, like after you graduate or the opportunities aren't there. And I think so specifically for this graduating class, you are graduating at a time where you have thousands of people actively looking for employment, actively looking for jobs. So you're competing against those people. Um, and trying to market yourself against all the other graduates. Before it just used to be all the other graduates, but now you have thousands of people who have been, displaced and are trying to find out, what their next move is, what their next career path is. And that can be very freaking scary. So I think that, we definitely got to give credit. We got to hold space for this current graduating class because their challenges right now look a lot different than any other graduating class that has come prior to them. We are at a
That's true.
totally different place. And I know for those of us that are old heads, and I'm talking, listen, I'm looking at you with the good eye, not the left one, the right one, before she gets tired, right? Like, give these babies some grace.
Mhm.
Give them some grace. Well, you ain't heard nothing back yet. And what about this? Well, when I graduated, that was a totally different time.
Yeah.
So right now, like, they want to get out in the workforce. They want to start their careers. They have hopes, they have dreams, but some of those will be on pause as, we're working through as everybody is sort of working through, what their next thing is. So,
Mhm.
I implore all of you just to, when you see a young person, and just be gentle with like you're bombarding them with questions of like, well, what you doing next?
Yeah.
Because the landscape don't look the same as it did, years ago. So just be gentle.
Yeah, I think back then you weren't expecting so many people to graduate. Like the graduation classes were
Hmm.
smaller. Now you have stadiums. My daughter graduated in a stadium. And then so and a lot of graduations happen in stadiums or like you said outdoors is because the volume of people graduating has increased. I'm pretty sure like that has to be proven because it is. There's a lot of more people graduating. You go now, and the graduations take forever because of the long list of names, which is amazing to see. But at the same time, let's keep it real. That means that all of those people are your competition, and then so the thing that happens is that everybody expects, oh, they just graduated high school, they just graduated college, they're gonna go get that good job, they're gonna start making a lot of bank. And the reality is not that. I graduated with my bachelor's thinking that. I graduated, oh my God, automatically I'm gonna go and get a good job. I had to start entry level, get my foot in the door, and then like kind of climb up the ladder. And that wasn't my plan. But again, to your point, having grace because then you're already going through it. You're already looking for a job. You're already thinking, dang, I have all these student loans. Dang, I have life. I have this expectation. You're not landing the job, not because you don't got it, it's because there's just so many applicants. And then on top of that, you have somebody telling you, oh, well, why did you go to school then if you're not even making money, or why are you not working yet? It's not that easy anymore. I think we work with enough young people in different capacities to know that even the most prepared person sometimes has to start entry level. So, and it's okay. It's okay. Like they'll get there. But to your point, friend, it's like all these expectations. I think that that also causes anxiety and different types of mental health issues because it's just so much pressure.
Absolutely. And I think too, to add to that, I think that people are very critical in what people
Mm.
like major in when they're in school. I have a degree in political science and social work. Have both of those degrees helped me in my career now? Yes. but it has nothing to do with either one of those things.
Mhm.
I think that sometimes it's lost on people. Like, it's not just the subject matter knowledge that you get when you're in school, but it is, understanding how to collaborate with folks, taking you outside of the environment that you have gotten used to, and putting you in a situation where you are learning how to engage with other people, how to think independently, to work independently. All of those things come out of college. It's not just like, oh, okay, well, you went to school for political science and all you talked about was government. That wasn't it.
Mhm.
I learned what my writing voice felt like. I learned presentation skills. I learned how to advocate for myself. I learned how to advocate for others. I learned how to share spaces, even though I had shared spaces my whole life, but like it was my brothers. But like sharing spaces with women, and also like learning that women were not my competition. Those were my sisters who 100% were in the fight with me, just trying to figure it out. Right. So there are all of
Mhm.
these other lessons that come with college. But then you have people who are just like, well, if you major in that, you're not going to make no money. There is more to life than making money. Do you need to make money to live? Absolutely. But there is something to be said about doing your hard work as well. If that was the case, nobody would be there to teach your kids. Nobody would have been there to teach you. The most underpaid people in the world have the biggest job and the most important job, teachers, who are advocating for teachers to be paid more, because without teachers, none of us would be sitting in any of the positions that we're in. But what if
Mhm.
teachers said, I don't make enough money? Social workers who do the work necessary for those communities that need extra support, do they make bank? Absolutely not. But at the same time, they do the hard work that is necessary that helps to stand up society and communities for those people who need the extra assistance. But what if they said, I don't make enough money?
Mhm.
It's not just about the money, but it's about the care. So don't be overly critical about like everybody can't be a doctor. Everybody can't be a
Right.
lawyer.
Mhm.
That makes no sense. There are not enough law schools and medical programs that everybody need to be a doctor and a lawyer. It doesn't even make sense at all. There's a particular type of skill set that people need to go into those fields. If you are squeamish, you probably shouldn't be a doctor, a nurse, a CNA. I know I could do none of those jobs because I am squeamish, but I am thankful there are people who saw fit to do that. That was just not my path. So quit knocking people off their like knocking them off their square or telling them that like they should solely be motivated by money because that don't make sense. Because that's not everybody's skill set. That's not everybody's passion. Support people where they are, and then understanding that this is a huge milestone that they were able to do a thing and commit to a thing. That is what graduation is about. That's what getting a degree is about. Not even just our diploma is about. Okay. So I was like, we are just so critical of each other of stuff that, doesn't make sense. I used to tell people all the time when people would criticize me over stuff. And I was like, but I could be smoking crack, but I'm not. You're
That's a
welcome.
good point. That's a good point.
I'm not. But it's like, so people will always have a criticism. So for the graduates too, 100% stand on business that you know why you did the thing that you
Mhm.
did. And everybody else's opinion is just an opinion. And they're like, what? Because everybody got one.
Mhm.
So 100%, stand and celebrating and celebrate as long as you need to. And if you need to look at your diploma and be reminded of a thing that you did that was hard. I was in law school, Z, and I remember it was not easy for me because um, that journey was a little bit different because it was a different mindset that you had to go into for law school. Shout out to Duquesne University in Pittsburgh, and it taught me to think different. And I wasn't able to see the end of that journey through, but that wasn't the point, right? There
Mhm.
was a lesson that I was supposed to learn in that moment. And I remember like my mom would tell me, I was like, Mom, I'm working really hard. I'm doing all the things. I spent, no exaggeration, 14 hours a day in the library learning because in law
Oh
school you
wow.
can't check out the books. And
Oh.
my mama did not make enough money for me to make photocopies. So I would have to sit in the library and read those books. And I remember I was getting down on myself and I was ready to complain about some stuff. And I remember there was a young lady who was a second year. She had like 3 to 4 kids. She worked a full-time job and she went to law school at night.
Oh wow.
And I remember they would say she would get off of her job at the newspaper. She would go home and make sure her kids, their food was made, that they did their homework, and then she would come up, go to class, and stay at night to study, and then do that every day.
Mhm.
And I said, I don't get the right to complain because that person's burden, while it might be different than mine, and it's not even a burden because when I tell you she had a beautiful spirit and always had a smile on her face, but her journey was different than mine, right? But she showed up and she showed out. Did she graduate? Absolutely. And I hope that she is still practicing law now, but she never knew how she changed my perspective on like how I saw the world because I was like, you don't get to complain because there's somebody else whose journey looks a little different, who might be a little heavier, and not dismissing your own journey, but just understand it could be a lot heavier than what it is, right?
Yeah.
So it's like in those moments, it's just like having somebody to celebrate you and understand that like she worked her tail off. She earned that.
Mhm.
And can't nobody take that from her. And I hope when she walked across the stage, her babies were proud of her more than anybody because they knew how hard their mama worked, not just for herself, but for them.
Yeah, no. That story resonates with me. That was me. Always a full-time job and I was a single mom. I'm not gonna lie. There was nights, especially getting my bachelor's degree almost at the end. It was getting hard. I was getting stressed. There was nights that I would cry. So when I graduated and I walked that stage, you best believe I was very proud of myself. Because when I say blood, sweat, and tears, it was blood, sweat, and tears. And then as a parent, you also feel guilty because you have to take time away from your kids. You already have a full-time job, then you still have to go to night school. So you barely get to see them in passing. It's a lot mentally and physically. So kudos to all the parents too that are graduating because it's not the struggle is real.
100%. And and I think too, just to hold space too, and for the folks again, we're gonna go with this good eye. For the people who haven't graduated yet, the people who haven't graduated yet, the people who haven't graduated yet. If that is what is on your heart to do that.
Mhm.
Do that. 100% do that. Live that, be that, and know that there's no right time to do it. Whenever it
Mhm.
feels right to you, 100% get into it. Get into it. Trade school. That is still a graduation.
Yes.
I need you to HVAC folks, plumbers, welders, all of those folks, uh, home health aides, CNA, we need y'all too. So for your pinning ceremonies, when you get your certifications, all of that matters. All of it
Yeah.
matters.
Or people in cosmetology school, nail techs, lash
Hey,
techs. Oh my god. I was telling my daughter, don't sleep on them cuz they banking. Not only do they get their certifications, they do their training. Some of them go on to teach others to do the same. They become business owners. They are also, I mean, you know how much it is to get a full set or to get your lashes done. So don't sleep on that either. The hair, I pay.
mhm,
I mean, I pay 200 for my hair sometimes. I ain't gonna lie, and I don't even have that much hair. But the point is, if that's your passion, go for it. Don't let anybody stand in the way of what you want to do, because at the end of the day, it's gonna be you by you're gonna have to do the job yourself. So like my friend said here, if you're squeamish, why would you go do something that you know you're gonna hate? I couldn't do it. I don't like
mhm,
looking at blood for that long. Ugh, no, I can't. But the point is,
mhm.
there's no timeline. I hate when people are like, "Oh, well, it feels like you've been at school forever." And why are you worried? Is my first question. Because sometimes you also
Mhm.
need that break. Nobody talks about needing that break. You
That.
burn out.
hmm hmm That's when you invite people to mind all 11 herbs and spices of their business. hmm
All
All of
11.
it. All 11 herbs. All of them. Because who asked you?
Mhm.
Because again, did you pay for it? Are you helping me study? Why do you care?
Yeah.
If you're not celebrating me, what you can do is you can observe from over there,
Mhm.
because that's how far your opinion should go, from over there. Don't care what you have to say. So
Yep.
100%, the message of this episode 100% is celebrate all these babies, the big babies, the little babies,
Yes. All of
the
them.
people who don't want to be called baby. Yeah, all of you. We applaud you. We celebrate you. We see you. We recognize you. We want you to do that dance. And even if you shouting out yourself and you send your own picture of you did a thing, baby,
Mhm.
send it. We will post it. We will celebrate you. I'll even shoot a video. But hopefully by then my sunglasses came in so I can give you a little Stevie, with it.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay,
Sorry.
friend. Okay.
Uh
Okay.
Hey, I'm just saying, I'm willing to celebrate you, whatever. If you
Me too.
local, I'll pull up on you. We could dance together. Okay, maybe we can't dance because my ankle is sore.
No.
Listen, she's falling apart. We're not talking about me though.
Listen, we're
But
talking about
just
somebody that said she will climb up that stage. So just be mindful if you invite her.
invite me. I'll come and holler the whole time. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Yeah.
for
If
sure.
they need a solo sang, I will grab a mic. She
Friend,
will. And
friend,
I will give you my best blessed assurance. Jesus is mine. Okay.
friend.
Maybe not. You don't want that. It's fine.
If you
I'm
want her
just
to watch your live stream, send her the link. She could just watch from her house.
she will. She will. I should probably sit down. I'll watch. I'll watch. Because what I am is a fall risk.
Mm,
Always.
yes,
So as we wrap this episode, um, we want to make sure that we pour into you all to say any accomplishment that you make, especially in this season, is worth celebrating. In
yes,
whatever way feels good to you, do that from where you are, and know that you got two people sitting in this little cube right here or within your earshot that are rooting for you to be the boldest, baddest mom in this. Listen, you're gonna do some
mm,
amazing stuff in this world. So know you got two people rooting for you, even if sometimes it feels like you don't.
yes. I agree. And we will be dropping a letter to the graduates with the video before we drop our actual episode because again, and I know we're gonna keep celebrate you all month. All month we're gonna shout you out. So, as my friend said, you got us. We're gonna be your biggest. If you haven't noticed already, which now you know, you must be living under a rock. But we are two of your biggest cheerleaders. And if you need somebody to be loud and proud, you got us. So, with that being
Period.
said, I'm gonna have my friend Roz the Boss close us off with some inspiration and information for our graduates.
Absolutely. Now I wanted to play the song for y'all,
Mm.
okay? But copyrights are real. So I can't do that. So I'm gonna speak it to you. And
Mm.
100% street cred to anybody who can shout the song out on social media. I might even have a little gift for you. I might, be able to pull something up for you, especially if it's one of our graduates. I will
Mm.
100% find it,
Giveaway
give you a
alert.
love offering.
Giveaway alert.
A love offering, period. But I want to leave you with this. Another turning point, a fork in the road. Time grabs you by the wrist and directs you where to go. So make the best of the test and don't ask why. It's not a question, but a lesson learned in time. It's something unpredictable. And in the end, it's right. I hope you had the time of your life.
Ooh, I love that. I
There
know,
you go.
but I can't tell y'all what that song is. So you heard.
Mm-hmm.
If you can guess it, drop it in our comments. And you may or may not get a little some.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, my friend, for
Little
sharing
sweet
that.
treat. No problem, friend.
All right. And with that, we are closing another episode dedicated to our graduates and our parents out there, our grandparents, aunties, everybody that's proud. Be loud, be bold, and don't forget to stay unmuted. Bye.
Don't forget to like, share, follow, and subscribe. And always staying unmuted.